Good news for U.S. real estate prices and unemployment rates. We'll have the details up next. Your real estate news starts now. Thank you for watching your real estate news. I'm Stacy Hansen. Here are your headlines. U.S. real estate prices have reached an all-time high and are fully recovered from the Great Recession, says Money Magazine. September home prices topped their previous peak set in July of 2006. That's according to data from the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller Index. The peak in 2006 occurred about a year and a half before the subprime mortgage crisis that put the U.S. economy into the Great Recession. Nationwide, home prices also rose by 5.5% over September of 2015. Increasing demand coupled with a tightening supply have fueled the spike in home prices, along with a 3-year low this year for mortgage rates. Competition for homes can indeed be tough. Zillow reports that less than half of buyers are getting the first home on which they make an offer. The U.S. unemployment rate dropped to 4.6% in November. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that employees in the U.S. added 178,000 non-farm jobs that month. This was the 74th consecutive month of job growth for the U.S. Forbes reports that the job gains for November came largely from professional and business services and health care. The Washington Post says this is evidence that Americans with skills and education are having little trouble finding work, but that those without continue to struggle. The unemployment rate for Americans with a bachelor's degree or higher decreased to 2.3% in November, but the rate for those with less than a high school diploma rose to 7.9%. Wages also rose 2.5% in November from a year ago, though it marked a slight slowdown from October. Average hourly earnings declined by 3 cents from the previous month. The 12 days of Christmas will cost a bit more this year. The price of the 12 gifts from the classic carol is $34,363.49 this year, according to PNC's annual Christmas Price Index. That's slightly under 1% more than those 12 gifts cost last year. PNC says the increase is due to lack of availability of turtle doves and wage increases for the drummers and the pipers. The prices for partridges fell 20% from last year due to an oversupply of game birds. 9 of the other items on the list stayed the same or got a bit cheaper. Every year, PNC Financial Group releases the index as a humorous way to track inflation in the economy. Don't go away. We'll have more real estate news right after the break. Welcome back to the Real Estate News. I'm now with Jeff Edmunds. He's from Acquire Restoration. Welcome, Jeff. Great to have you here. So let's just kind of go over the basics first. What services do you provide there at Acquire?
Thank you for having me. Acquire Restoration primarily restores properties affected by water, fire, wind, hail, and storm damage and sewer damage. And pretty much anyone that owns a property, they're our end customer.
So mold, that can be scary. How scared do property owners need to be of having mold in their home? Who does this really affect?
Not scared, but aware of the situation. Don't minimize it, don't neglect it, but pay attention to it. There are 3 sectors of people out there that are more susceptible to mold inhalation issues. That's the elderly, people with compromised immune systems, and then infants or toddlers that have developmental lungs and tissues.
Yeah, definitely want to watch out for sure for those folks. So as a pro at this, how do you go about cleaning up this mold?
There's multiple different ways of approaching a mold remediation project. We have patented processes to do so. There are dry ice blasting, baking soda, sodium bicarbonate blasting, there's pressure washing, there's HEPA vacuuming. All those are susceptible to remediate the mold. You should never use bleach in mold removal, mold remediation, and you technically, according to the ISCRC, should never use any kind of chemicals, but there are situations that require that situation to happen.
Why is it that you can't use bleach on that?
It's toxic. It's 99% water, and sodium hypochlorite is the other 1%. So you're adding water to the already affected materials that have water that created the mold in the first place.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense. I never would have thought that. Now, do you need to be licensed, insured, certified, all that kind of thing to deal with this mold?
There are no regulations for the state or federal government to be licensed or insured. It's, of course, a wise practice to be licensed, insured, and certified in all those areas. Of course, Acquire Restorations is all three. We're licensed. We're a licensed building contractor. We're insured for all the risks that we face every day. And then we're also certified. All of our technicians and all of our management is certified in mold remediation, along with all the other perils.
So you definitely can handle anything that customers out there are needing with remediation. Well, thanks so much, Jeff. Great to have you stop by today.
Thank you for having me.
And welcome back to the Real Estate News. I'm now with Dondi Zombet-Falvey. She's the lead designer at Bella Domicile. Welcome, Dondi. Good to see you again. So let's talk about finishes today. Why is it important to upgrade your finishes in your house?
I would say the number one reason is so you can enjoy the space that you're living in. But quick behind that would be that most home buyers are looking for something that's move-in ready. If you think about people are so busy and the thought of undertaking a kitchen remodel is just overwhelming for them. So if you have your space upgraded, they can visualize what it's going to be like for them to live there.
Makes sense. And I like how you also said to enjoy it yourself too, because I think sometimes people forget about that, and that's kind of the best part.
Absolutely.
If you have a strict budget though, what finish would you say is the most important to upgrade if you're going to just do one?
Great question. I would say you got to look at what's broken first. So if you have a big hole, spot in the floor or a cracked tile, or you have your countertop has damage to it, I would say pick the thing that's the most noticeable first.
That makes sense. So let's say you've got a bigger budget and you can do some more. What would you say are maybe the top 3 finishes to upgrade in your kitchen?
I would say I've seen amazing results just with things like upgrading the lighting, changing the hardware, painting the walls. Countertops and backsplash, those are pretty impactful. Stuff that's above the counter that you're going to see and notice right away, those are a big bang for your buck.
That makes sense. I'm a big fan of lighting too, and it is amazing what a coat of paint will do too. So when should homeowners get started on this if they're just remodeling before selling?
I would say a lot of the clients that we have, they're remodeling 3 to 5 years before they're planning to sell, mainly so that they can see some of the benefit themselves. Simple upgrades can be done just a few months before you're wanting to sell though.
So it's a wide range. It just kind of depends on what you're trying to do, what your goal is. What's the trend now for finishes?
I would say probably the number one thing that people are putting in, quartz countertops, still painted white and with some hedging towards some gray, and gray stains on cabinetry is very popular as well.
Does it kind of come full circle? Because I've currently got dark in my kitchen, dark woods. I don't know if I want to change it.
Well, dark is very popular. What's nice is the contrast. So some light and some dark. A light countertop with some dark. But those dark oak cabinets, believe it or not, they're coming back in style.
Well, that's definitely great news for me then. Thanks, Dondi. And now, how can people get a hold of you if they're interested?
Very easily go to our webpage, belladomicile.com. Right on the top, contact us, just drop us an email through our website, and we'll contact you.
Sounds great. Well, thanks so much, Dondi. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Real Estate News. I'm now with Bill Quigley, he's branch manager at AmeriFirst Home Mortgage. Welcome back, Bill. Good to see you again.
Good to be here. Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about interest rates and the election. I hear there's a lot of movement. What's going on?
There was a lot of movement after the presidential election under speculation. A lot of this is strictly emotional, that there's going to be a lot of economic growth under the new administration. There again, a lot of this is emotional. It's a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction. The markets have calmed down and we're getting back some of the losses that we have. What the markets are anticipating is there will be economic growth going into the new year with the new administration. Economic growth causes inflation. Inflation is bad for mortgage-backed securities and bonds, so investors sell them, and when they sell them, interest rates go up. There again, we're going to gain back some of the losses we've had since the election. The Federal Reserve is more than likely going to increase the discount rate in December. Many people believe that, that's going to increase mortgage rates, but it won't. That will help mortgage rates go down a little bit more. So going into the New Year's, we'll be in great shape for interest rates, and I'll keep you posted on how we're doing.
Great. That's good news, at least, that we're looking good on interest rates. Now, I'm also hearing about escrow holdback. What is this?
Escrow holdbacks are very rare in the lending and real estate industry today. Most lenders cannot do them, we can. As an example, we had a recent purchase transaction where the home needed some repairs. The seller did not want to do the repairs. They didn't want to put out any money until they knew the buyer was purchasing the home. The buyer didn't want to put any money until they knew they owned the home. So a little bit of a conflict. What we recommended is the seller agreed to pay for the repairs after closing. We close on the sale of the home. We hold a certain amount of money in escrow to do the repairs. The repairs are done after the completion of the transaction. The buyer moves in, the repairs were done, the contractor is paid, everybody's happy. Very few lenders will do this. This helps a lot of transactions close where if the home does need repairs, if they can't close on it due to the repair issue, we can close on it with the escrow holdback.
It's great to know that you guys can do that. Now, you're also helping home buyers purchase homes utilizing a renovation financing. So explain to us how that works.
The renovation financing program is going great. We help people purchase homes at great prices that are in good neighborhoods, but the homes need work. As an example, we have a couple purchasing a home with a beautiful lot, a beautiful view. The home has a lot of character, but it needs work. It's very outdated, and it really isn't in a condition right now where the homeowner could even move in. But they're going to purchase the home with one loan. They'll purchase the home. We add into that monies to renovate and remodel the home. So they'll buy it, renovate it, move in, all with one loan. Very streamlined transaction. When they're done, they'll have a beautiful home, plenty of equity, and very happy homeowners.
Good news for those homeowners. Well, thanks so much, Bill.
Great to be here. Thank you. Take care.
Welcome back to the Real Estate News. I'm now with Josh Lovick of Josh Lovick & Associates. Welcome back, Josh. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Hey, thanks,
So
Stacey.
give us a rundown of what's going on in real estate this month.
Well, this month is November, and typically this time of the year, Thanksgiving is right around the corner. So now's the time I kind of look back and reflect on how grateful I am for just our past clients, current clients, and future clients, so that we were able to help. Last year, 2015, we were able to help actually 48 people with their move, and this year I'm happy to say that we're actually going to probably surpass that number a little bit. So just very grateful for the people we're able to help and serve.
Well, congratulations on a great year so far, Josh. So are there any clients that have stood out more than others?
We've had a few recent successes. So you may recall from last month, we had a couple new listings. One of them, 2705 Moland, had an accepted offer within a week. Similar story at the 4301 Barbie Lane, also kind of multiple offers, had an accepted offer within a week. Some of the other favorite clients, I don't know, I'm a family man, so I have a wife and 3 kids, so I've enjoyed the opportunity to work with some other families and couples that have either been upgrading their home, moving from their smaller home to a larger one, or downsizing. A couple that come to mind are like Andrew and Hita. They had a downtown condo that they lived in, and then they bought a beautiful home over on the east side of Madison, so they were a lot of fun to work with. Dave and Heather were another couple that we had a lot of fun working with. They actually have twins, which my family, we also have twins, so we have that neat kind of commonality there as well. But they're all good clients, so that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it's hard to pick, just even a couple. Well, thanks for sharing those stories with us today.
Yeah.
What else is happening in real estate from your perspective?
Yeah, well, as you can imagine, we're coming up on winter, and our market is very seasonal. As you can imagine, most people don't want to move during the snowy times of the year. But if you think about it, there are still sales that happen. So like June, for example, there's just over 1,100 sales this year, compared to January this year where there were just under 350. So
wow.
There's still going to be some people that are still going to move in December, January, February, that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference there, but it's true. People are still moving in those winter months. It seems that some people are still buying.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually have a few clients right now that are, they're renting, or they're in kind of some flexible lease terms. With the really low inventory we're having right now, there's just, they're renting and trying to wait and find that perfect home that they can get. Plus, we just had an election for our president and everything else, so there's a little bit of uncertainty in the future, but interest rates right now are still really good, but who knows what they may be down the road. So there's still, I think there's still some people out looking, just trying to wait and try to find that right opportunity.
That makes sense. Any last things you'd like to share with us today?
Well, the last thing I might mention is any of you that are thinking of either building or possibly remodeling in the future, we are going to be a part of the Madison Area Builders Association event coming up in January 27th through the 29th. It's called the Dream Home Showcase event. So we'll have a booth there and be happy to talk to you or anybody that you know about building and what that might mean and different options out there.
Definitely check that out. Well, thanks so much, Josh.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Real Estate News. I'm Ellen Barrett with this special report. And now Thanksgiving is behind us and Christmas is right around the corner. And when family and friends come to visit, we all want our home to look its holiday best. Home design expert Sarah Fishburne joins us this morning with advice on giving your decor the edge up with the latest trends. Hello, Sarah. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, as we gear up for the holiday season, Sarah, can you tell us some of this year's top trends for interior decor?
Yeah, they're definitely following what we've been seeing in the rest of the year, with blues being a really important color for the holiday season. It's also about monochromatic palettes, so really layering in that same family, as well as incorporating some texture into those palettes. So incorporating burlaps and velvets and embroidery. Those are all great ways to really, add some depth to it, as well as adding some natural elements like pine cones. Again, that really rounds it all out.
I love that. Some super unique stuff in there too that can really make you stand out, and that kind of leads into my next question. Any advice for making your home kind of stand out from your neighbor's home and make you look unique?
Absolutely, and I always tell people it's really about the tree and going out and finding that perfect tree that does what you want it to do with LED technology and all the functions you can now get in a tree. The one here is the Splendid Spruce that is a multi-function tree that with a push of the button, I can change the color as well as change the function of the tree, which is a really great interactive thing to have for the family. You can pick something for the whole season or let someone in the house pick every single day.
What a great conversation piece as well if you're having guests over, something to talk about and to kind of play with as well. And now, from colors to decor, how can we keep the holiday traditions and still add subtle style to our homes?
Yeah. I tell them to start with the front door and incorporate wreaths throughout the house. And you don't have to stick to one type of wreath. The metal bow is a great example that you can incorporate from the front door or even on a tabletop. To a champagne glitter wreath is a great one. Ornament ball wreaths, but also like a wintry mix. That's a great one that can incorporate and fit in a lot of different homes. But again, you don't have to stick to one family and only have that. You can mix and match these and have a lot of fun with it.
And now holiday decorating in general can get out of hand really fast. I know for me personally, if I step into a store, I could probably drop hundreds of dollars if I wanted to. So any advice for staying trendy, but also remaining on a budget?
Absolutely. You can stay a little smaller and you don't have to break the bank. But I encourage people to think about tabletop. That really goes a really long way, with lanterns and deer that you can incorporate, as well as ribbon goes so far that you can, tie that on a banister, on lights, on other pieces that you already have, even decorative picks. If you have plants already inside that you leave all year, incorporate picks into that, or even just a vase that you might have. But throw pillows is a great way. And also, don't forget about that front door. Change out your doormat, put a holiday mat down, and instantly you're into the season.
Absolutely. And now something that I've also seen is that smartphones are getting in on the decorating action. So tell us about the high-tech options for those who are looking to have a smart Christmas.
Yeah, technology continues to get better and better, and there's always new technology being introduced into Christmas. So I encourage people to go to the store and really see it for themselves. But app lights are huge, so you can string these together and control them with your smartphone. So you can do the functions, the timing, everything with your smart device. Another great technology is the Star Shower, which is a projector that really can shoot lights to the whole front of the house, and you're instantly kind of decorated. So there's so many great technologies, from those two items to all the different LED trees.
Absolutely. And now, just out of curiosity too, Sarah, do you have any favorite staples or decorations that you love to do every year and are maybe your go-to when you're decorating for the holidays?
You know, it is. I always kind of pull out those kind of pieces that I've had. There's some, you know, throw pillows that I always go to, that I always are my staples. But I actually, my little like hidden gem is I love poinsettias and incorporating not only live ones but artificial ones outside. And I kind of decorate those. And my go-to, I actually don't stick with the red. I go towards the more coral ones, and I leave them up a little past the holiday season because they look so good. And I put them in different pots, and they just feel like great, beautiful decoration.
I love that, and I love the use of different decorations that maybe you can extend past Christmas. You don't feel like you have to box everything up when the holiday is over. And you just have so much great information. Where can our viewers go if they have some more questions or want to access some of this information?
Absolutely. You can visit any of our Home Depot stores or go on homedepot.com.
Wonderful. Again, Sarah Fishburne, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it, and we'll be back with more real estate news right after this on Wisconsin's 57 Television.
Special thanks to our guests for stopping by today, and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. Be sure to join us again next week. I'm Stacy Hansen for the Real Estate News, making a positive impact and leading the real estate market.